Hey Alex, do you want to kick things off?
Gary, a disappointing evening. What was your take on how that played out?
Yeah, I thought we've had a tough week in terms of the travelling, which I think was always going to play a little bit of a factor. I think we actually started really positively. We made some changes to the team. We felt we had to. I thought we started really well. I thought we pressed Norwich high, made it a little bit uncomfortable at the start for them, and had a couple of really good moments where we should have perhaps done a little better. They're a good side, you know. They're always going to play through you at times. They're always going to control the ball at times, and they're a good possession-based team. And they're a dangerous side, regardless of your journeys in the week, regardless of which team you are. I think they'll do very, very well this season. I think the first half I was actually really pleased with it for our effort, our energy, our diligence defensively, the way we sort of got back into shape and could have moved the ball a little bit better. Maybe after about half an hour we just started to become a little sloppy on the ball, and when you give those transitions to Norwich, you know, they certainly take them and start to get people like Sanani into those little pockets and make it very difficult for you. The first goal I was disappointed. I thought it was probably the one moment we just switch off for a second. We switch off, we allow the opportunity, and I was disappointed to be 1-0 down at that point so early in the second half. And then I think Norwich may well have won the game comfortably anyway. You know, I'm not suggesting that, but I think what you want the officials to get the big moments right. I thought it was a clear foul in front of us, 2 yards away. The fourth official is 2 yards from the action, and my argument is, and I get the same things afterwards, that, you know, we're allowing more contact this year. That's fine, but a foul's a foul. It doesn't matter what, a foul is a foul, and if it's a clear foul, I think at that moment, when the lads 1v1 with a keeper running through on goal, you had to have got that moment right. And in my opinion, they got the moment wrong, and we're 2-0 down because of it. So that's disappointing, and I think at 1-0 it still gives us a chance, like we've seen in recent games, to chase the latter stages of the game. You know, we saved our substitutes because we couldn't play them for much more than sort of 20-30 minutes, and we felt that might give us a chance late on in the game, regardless of the scoreline. But when that scoreline's 2-0 rather than 1-0, I think that's a frustration. So, in my opinion, it was a clear foul, but I'm going to say that, aren't I, of course.
Do you feel like there's kind of like a bit of a running theme with that? Because obviously you had a kind of similar moments at Sheffield United a couple of weeks ago as well.
Well, I thought the Sheffield United one, when you watch it back, is a clear foul also. There has to be an intention to play the ball, and if you don't intend to play it, like Sargent doesn't mean to, but he jumps on the back of Danny McNamara and he doesn't win the ball, so it's a foul, and then he falls onto the back of Scott Malone. 15 minutes later, Grant Hanley gets a little touch, falls to the ground in front of I'm not blaming Grant Hanley at all, but he falls in front of the linesman who picks his flag up and can't wait to flag for it. So in my opinion, they're very similar positions. You know, look, I'm frustrated because I believe at 1-0 there's still a chance for us in the game. But look, I don't want to take anything away from Norwich. I think they're an excellent side. I think they move the ball really, really well. And they might well have gone and scored the second goal anyway. Who knows? But at 1-0, the game's very much alive, and you give yourself a chance with those changes to see if you can get that goal.
On Tuesday, it felt like there was maybe a little bit of a lack of control at stages. Did you feel that you competed a lot better today against Norwich?
Yeah, I did. I thought we pressed them really well early on. I thought our structure was good. I think the way they play, they can play through it if you're a little bit loose, and they did that on occasions. They're going to do that to everybody, I think. But we certainly didn't. I think Swansea, we sat in a little bit passively, and we didn't defend well enough from that deep shape. I think today we were a little more aggressive. I think that's something we need to look at maintaining. I think the challenge against the Norwich side, when you're aggressive and you have to keep doing it right, you only need to get it wrong once or twice, or start to fatigue a little bit, and the spaces start to open up for them, and that's the gamble. But I thought we did it pretty well. I didn't think they had lots of shots from around the edge of the box. I didn't think they had loads and loads of clear-cut chances. Of course, they had more possession than us, and we'd like to create a little bit more. But I thought there was enough moments in the game to certainly score a goal from our behalf.
You made 3 changes today. Can you talk us through that? Was that just to keep players fit after a tough week?
I think it's been a tough week. I think just where we could keep a bit of energy in there. I think to bring Sean Hutchinson, George Saville and Ryan Leonard into the team, like, it's quite an easy decision really. They're all very, very good players that are replacing very good players on the other side. You know, certainly in Jamie Shackleton's case, had a tight calf, so didn't really want to risk him for the 90 minutes. And again, we get through it. I think with no injuries, we get players back on the pitch. Vogie had a great shot, again, showed what he can do. I think Zian just got in some nice pockets, and with a bit more sort of sharpness and fitness, I think again he can show the quality he's got. So it's nice to get him back out there, and I think we'll be a much stronger squad for it. I have to remember as well, Norwich were a side that's come down from the Premier League last year, and I think they're now on, I believe they're now on 7 points, exactly the same as us. So as disappointed as we are, you know, I think we've done okay early season. I mean, there's a lot more to come from us, and these games are going to be a challenge, I think, regardless of your schedule in a week that's been so tough.
And finally, you've got Zian Fleming back on the pitch today, Tom Bradshaw back on the bench. How important is that, and how big can they be in the next few weeks?
Well, I think our squad certainly looked a lot stronger. I think we've had a real challenge in the first 5 league games to have enough strength in depth to make the changes. I think we're going to have to do that this year. If you look at, again, a side like Norwich who can have Pookie and Cantwell on the bench, you know, you need to be able to compete with teams like that to get to where you want to be. So certainly having those players available, I think, you know, we'll need to get them a little bit more match sharp, because again they've missed a little period now. But I think you see the quality within those players that can really help us.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Cheers.